Hey there, good morning and welcome to the JeepSolid Garage. Today I'm going to take you through the process of installing Quadratec's bumper kit on this 1992 Jeep Wrangler YJ. This kit comes with a front and rear bumper and rocker guards for each side. Some of the process goes super smooth. There are some parts I struggle with. Let's get right to it. Well, it's a good thing we got a full cup of coffee because we've got a lot to do. We've got our new rock guards for each side of the Jeep. Here's our new rock crawler rear bumper. And of course the front bumper. This all comes as a kit from Quadratec. It'll be linked in the description below. And I'm going to start with the front bumper here. First thing, I have to take off this old partial bumper that I have here. Got a couple factory bolts I'm going to take out. We're going to save those because we are going to use them when we're installing our new bumper. And I do have a few welds along here. I'm going to have to grind those off, get this front end off. Let's push this out of the way and get started. Okay, got that all ground down. Because this had that fabricated bumper on it, I had to kind of grind off a weld back here, smooth it out. You want the horns here all nice and clean. You shouldn't have to do that on a stock vehicle. Your stock bumper should just unbolt and come right off, and our new bumper should bolt right on. Let's dry fit it first here. And this is heavy. It is definitely not a flimsy, lightweight bumper. But it should fit on here just like so. This side slid on there pretty nice. The other side here, I might have to smooth this out just a little bit more. But I think that's going to work for us just fine. I am going to hit this with a little bit of primer and paint. Don't want this to rust on me. All right, we got this all cleaned up and painted nicely. Now with my setup, I'm actually gonna be able to put a bolt in the top and one in the bottom on both sides. Now we can dry fit this, line it up, measure everything out, make sure it's square on the front end. So I'm looking at the body lines and the lines on the frame rail here, just to make sure our overlap is pretty even and our distance from the front fender. Boy, that's pretty darn good right there. I am gonna hit the bolts with a little bit of blue Loctite here. And we'll get everything bolted down. All right, that is secure. Let's move on to the recovery hooks here. So in the instructions, we got everything cleaned up, bolted on. So right here, if you have recovery hooks, there's a little spacer and bolt that go on there. Now this spacer, as the picture showed, it's designed to fit right in here, but on mine, my bolt hole is a little bit farther back. I do think I will get some recovery hooks to put on here. This spacer gives us a level surface so that we can put a recovery hook on there. But for now, I'm gonna just put this on, bolt this down so I don't lose these parts. There we go. Front bumper's looking pretty cool. I am gonna have to add some lights, a winch, all that. But right now, I think that's looking great. Let's move on to our rock rails. But you know what? If I don't add a winch to this, I think this will actually make a pretty good seat. Let's go bogging. Woo! Okay, the rocker guards. So we've got a pair of rocker guards. There's also a style with a step, which we do not have. And it just bolts right onto the frame. We're gonna drill 5/16 holes, and one arm goes in front and then one behind the body mounts underneath. And then we install the self-tapping bolts. This is the passenger side. I think the hardest part of this job is going to be getting it lined up exactly how I want it. Let me grab some jack stands to help hold it. Just want to get it roughly close so I can start measuring. So with a couple of clamps on it, I think I have it positioned how I want it. On the back side here, I actually have it as far forward as it'll go until it runs into this body mount bracket. And then on the front side, we've got a little bit of an issue. So I can't get it up past this mount for the leaf spring. So I'm gonna have to put some shims behind 3 of the bolts there. I can't go any farther forward to get around this bracket. So if I shim it up though, put the bolts in, I think that'll be fine. And as far as keeping it level, so I'm looking at this bottom tube here and then the bottom of the body there. Make sure that gap is pretty even all the way across. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's mark it up and get to drilling. My one piece of advice, buy yourself a new drill bit. No reason to kill yourself on this. A good sharp drill bit, it'll be well worth the money. Let's talk a little bit about these self-tapping 5/16, or actually I think these are 3/8. What are they? Yeah, 3/8 inch self-tapping screws. But you drill a hole 5/16 inch wide, 5/16 inch bit, and then the self-tapping. These guys I really struggled with. I got one of them to go in okay, another one on the back, I'm just fighting with it. So then I finally move on to getting myself a tap, and then just trying to tap the hole to create some threads so that the self-tapping screw can go in. And still, I'm just chewing up the end of the self-tapping screw. It's just not working well. I'm struggling with it, pushing as hard as I can on it, trying to get it in. I'm just fighting with it. So finally, honestly, I've gotten a couple of them in, but I've given up and I'm just gonna weld the rest of this in. That'll hold it just fine, but if you're doing it yourself using these self-tapping screws, kind of be prepared for a battle. All right, there we go. That should do, and way easier than fighting with these self-tapping screws. These were a pain. Well, we've made some really good progress. We got the front bumper done. We got this rail on. Still gotta do the rail on the other side and the rear bumper, but I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna go have some dinner, relax a little bit. We'll pick this up next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my next video right here, and have a good day.